Good morning, everyone. I am your facilitator for today's class, Arish Ansari from the Department of English, St. Aloysius College. Today, I will be speaking on the topic speaking skills. I will be dividing my topic into two classes. So, some points I will be covering today and some later in the next class. The man who can think and does not know how to express what he thinks is at the level of him who cannot think. So this tells us that everyone is able to think, but if that person is not able to express himself or herself, then what is the use of him thinking? He may think a lot of things, he may have various good thoughts, but if he is not able to express his thoughts, then what is the use? Okay, so we'll begin with the objectives of our class. The first objective is to be an active listener. Why is it important to be an active listener? Because only if you are a good listener, you will be a good speaker. You will be able to answer back questions which are asked, and you will be able to interact with your audience or with anybody individually only if you are an active listener. Next is how to automate vocabulary. Automate, it means automatic. So you will be able to know which vocabulary, which words to use, when to use and how to use those words. You can call somebody pretty, but you can also call someone beautiful. So you should know which words to use at which place or at which situation, and you should know when to change those words not to be repetitive again and again, and so on. Next, how to become fluent. Because if you are speaking, you are supposed to be fluent in your language. It may be in any language, be it Hindi, be it English, or be it in any language. If you are not fluent, your audience will be bored. The person you're talking to individually will also not be able to connect with you, because maybe you're taking many pauses, maybe you are not answering back at the right time, and maybe you are not being able to express yourself properly. So being fluent is also one of the aspects of our class today. Then clarity and pronunciation. We need to be very clear with what we want to speak. We need to have clarity of thoughts. Only then we will be able to express what we want to say. And no matter how good I am at speaking today, if my pronunciation is not clear for you, then how will you understand? So pronunciation is also one of the key important factors when it comes to speaking skills. Next, how to gain confidence. Because confidence is the key to success. No matter where you go, confidence is going to take you to places. If you are not confident, the audience that you're interacting with will think that maybe you're not prepared or maybe you lack something. But in case, even if you make here and there minor grammatical errors, but you are confident, then the audience will just not think of all those errors, but they will listen to you. So be confident always. Next, feedback and improvement. Because if you're talking to somebody, if that person is not going to give you a feedback, if they will not tell you that this is right, this is wrong, or you could have been saying different things, how will you know? How will you improve? So feedback and improvement is also extremely important when it comes to speaking skills. Next, to overcome nervousness, because it is very important to not be nervous. But everybody of us is nervous one day or the other. How will you overcome nervousness? That we'll see. Okay. Next, to develop powerful body language. You need to have a powerful body language. You can't stand like this. You can't look here and there while speaking. You have to be able to connect with the audience, look them in the eye, and not just look straight away continuously, but you have to be very natural with your body language. That will help you to connect to your audience. That way people will feel that you're very relatable, you are relaxed and you're natural. Okay, so speaking. What is speaking basically? It is to communicate effectively to an audience, to anybody. You are able to tell people whatever you are thinking. So speaking helps express oneself to others. It may be from an informal remark to a scholarly presentation to a formal address. It could be informal, it can be formal, it could be anything. Then it helps a person grow socially in his personal and professional life. You will look around yourself, you will see your friend circle. Suppose there are 5 people in your friends. One is going to be very popular, and the reason that person is popular is because that person knows how to speak well. That person knows how to communicate well to other friends of yours. And that person may be termed as an extrovert maybe, but also an introvert can be a good speaker. That does not mean you always have to be an extrovert to be able to speak well. So it will always help you go professionally and also personally. You will be able to build relationships with people, your family members, your friends, and also your colleagues. If you are good at speaking, you will be able to tell people what you want. If there are 2 people sitting in a bus and one of them has taken your seat, if you are a good speaker, you will tell that person that this is my seat, I have bought the ticket, and you will be able to tell him that he's supposed to sit somewhere else. But if you're not a good speaker, maybe you will have to keep standing in the bus. Okay? So next, speaking skills allow the speaker to convey his message in a passionate, thoughtful and convincing manner. So a person who's a good speaker will be able to talk passionately, will be able to interact in a very thoughtful and engaging manner, and will be able to convince people. You look around yourself and look at all the politicians. Are they not good speakers? They are, right? So it also helps to assure that one won't be misunderstood by those who are listening. If we are talking to people, there are chances, 100% chances of being misunderstood. There will be many misunderstandings. It may be between your friends, it may be between your co-workers or anything. So if you're a good speaker, you will be able to clear all those misunderstandings. So this is one good study that has been done, which is, according to most studies, people's number 1 fear is public speaking, and number 2 is death. So death is number 2. Does that sound right? I don't think so, because whenever we do something, we are always thinking, oh my God, I'm going to die, isn't it? But it's not the right case. If today I will ask any one of you to come and speak on any topic, maybe that time you will be very nervous. You will feel, oh my God, why did I come today? Why is I'm being asked to answer anything? So this means, to the average person, if you go to a funeral, you are better off in the casket than doing the eulogy. Eulogy is basically talking about the person who has just passed away, and that is supposed to be done in front of all the family members. So that is one of the public speaking. So this study showcases us that a person would rather be dead than the one talking about the dead. Okay, then 3 kinds of speaking situations are there. One is interactive, that is face to face. When we talk to people individually, that is one of the interactive speaking sessions. You can also talk on our telephone calls, that is also one of the interactive speaking situation. Next is partially interactive, which is speech to live audience. A person who is standing on the stage. Suppose there is any speaker who is in the stage and is addressing the audience. He is the one talking and the others are listening. So that is a partially interactive speaking session. And a non-interactive speaking session is when a person is talking and the others are not even there. That is, for example, a radio podcast. Next, components of effective speaking. Be an active listener. I had already told you all that being an active listener is always going to be very beneficial for being a good speaker. You need to know what the person is asking. You need to know what they are talking about. Only then will you be able to engage in that conversation. Then organize thoughts quickly. Do not wait. Do not take pauses for 10 seconds or 15 seconds. Do take some time, 2 seconds maybe or something, but do not delay the conversation. That way, people will think that you are not interested or maybe you're very boring. Then speak with confidence. Again, confidence is very necessary while speaking. Otherwise, people will not be interested in your conversation. Never apologize. Many a times we have heard people saying, I'm sorry today I am not prepared for this lecture, or I'm sorry I did not study well. When you're giving a viva to your teacher, you have all sorts of excuses that I did not sleep well, I did not eat my breakfast today, or anything. Do not do all that. Never apologize. Whatever little bit you have prepared, go on and speak that with confidence. That way, people will be able to believe that you're a good speaker and you prepared so much well. If not a lot, but a little bit is also more than that. Next, Rudyard Kipling's verse is, I keep 6 honest serving men. They taught me all I knew. Their names are what and why, and when and how, and where and who. So all these things help us what to talk to the audience, why to talk to that audience, and why is this topic being discussed, and when to say it, how to say it, the way that is being said, and where to say it, which place, and to whom you're addressing it to. So what? Before going and speaking with anybody, always do an individual brainstorming session. Brainstorming is basically thinking before speaking, clearing out all the concepts that you would like to speak, having a proper structured thought that you would like to address while speaking. Speak with the format IBC. I stands for introduction, B stands for body, and C stands for conclusion. So always have a clear introduction of whatever subject you're talking about, whatever topic it is, then go towards the body part and then conclude. There should always be a conclusion, that why was this all said? What is the benefit of somebody who has heard you from all of that? Okay? Then, how to speak? Speak like a star. You are always supposed to speak as a situation permits us, whatever the situation is, whatever the task has been assigned, is it getting fulfilled, whatever we are speaking, then there should be a right attitude towards that topic, towards the person you're addressing, and that person should feel positive. And there should be a desired result. Whatever you were looking forward to, is that result already there? Is it fulfilled? That you should be very careful about. Then, why? 3 E's of speaking. Why are you speaking and how you are speaking? You're supposed to speak in an entertaining form. Do not be monotonous. Do not be boring. And you should speak effectively. There should be an effect while you're speaking. You should not speak like in a same tone and which will not have any impact or an effect. And if you've spoken for 5 minutes to your friend, those 5 minutes should actually be effective. They should not just be a wastage. Then, enthusiastically, because while speaking enthusiastically, you actually grab anybody's attention that you're talking to. Next, know your audience and interact with them. You are always supposed to know your audience. Suppose you're talking to a student of class 10th. Are you going to talk about any subject which is not related to him or her? Are you going to talk about a pregnancy-based book? No, right? You will always know who you're addressing to so that you can engage those topics only to them which are necessary. Then, tailor your message accordingly. Always know what age that person is of, always know what topics that person desires, and tailor your message accordingly. Then don't speak to your audience, speak with them. What does this mean? Speaking to your audience means I am the one speaking and you're the one listening. But speaking with your audience means I am the one speaking and at the same time you are also asking me any questions. I'm also answering, and even I'm asking questions, so you are also answering. This way it is like a conversational tone which will always be much more effective than a one-sided lecture. Okay. Then pay attention to the old KISS. KISS means keep it short and simple principle. So always keep it short because you want to make sure that your speech is easily digestible for those listening to you. If it's going to be very long, people will stop listening to you. If it's going to be very full of hard words, then again it's not going to be digestible. So make eye contact and look for heads nodding in agreement. Always make eye contact while speaking. That is one of the key aspects which a public speaker or a good speaker always has. Always make eye contact, look to all the people that are there in your audience, and if there's just one or two person, even look at them while talking. Never look somewhere else and keep doing your work while talking. That is very bad. Okay, then practice, do not memorize. Do you know what is something which every good speaker does? They practice. They practice in front of the mirror. They record themselves and they listen to what they are saying, because recording helps us understand where we are looking, which words we are mispronouncing, and where we are missing out stuff. So always practice. And one very good example I'll give you is, do not try to be a good speaker through reading books, because books is something which will help us enhance our vocabulary, but speaking will always be better only if we start speaking. I'll give you one example, that you must have heard about Messi being a good football player. Do you think his left and right leg is better than us and that is why he's a good player? No, right? He has practiced and he has made himself better than all of us. And he has not gone home and read a book which talks about football. He has practiced those things which are written in that book. Okay? So tone of voice is extremely important, because a message, whatever we are talking today, whatever you talk with anybody, that message has only 7% verbal elements. Means the words are only 7% and 38% is vocal. That is the tone of your voice. In which tone you are talking. Are you very harsh or are you very soft? So that matters like 38%, and 55% is visual gestures, facial expressions, movements of hands, posture. If you will just stand like this and talk in front of an audience, I don't think it's going to give a very good impact of yours. But if you'll talk like this, if you'll give hand movements, hand gestures, you'll point out on stuff, then I think it's going to give a much more greater impact. So always talk with expressions, with movements, and keep moving here and there, keep talking, look at the audience that you're addressing to. So vary tone of voice and pitch to avoid monotony. Because if you will always be at the same pitch like I am speaking right now, I don't think you will hear me for more than 30 seconds. But if I will vary my tone, sometimes I will be loud, then sometimes I will be slow, it's going to give a much better impression of mine and of yours as well if you'll practice this. So give pauses, pause in between, ask questions, and give pauses so that your listener is able to understand what you're saying. If you keep talking for 30 minutes, I don't think the listener will understand all those things. But if you'll give pauses, it will give the person time to think, to adopt all those things that you've said. Then articulate clearly without introducing angularities of your mother tongue. So MTI, mother tongue influence, should not come in between your speech, because that will always hamper and that will prevent you from connecting to the audience. Their mindset will always be on your accent and they will be always distracted. So be very mindful of your articulation and your pronunciations. Then tempo. At what speed are you talking? Speed of speech is measured by the number of spoken words per minute. If you're talking very fast, people will not understand. And if you are talking very slow, then also people will lose interest. So maintain your tempo and talk with as many words possible which are able to be understood by your audience. Give emphasis to what? Only to the things that are important. In all those things, I think I emphasized very much on being very confident, on maintaining eye contact. So give emphasis to whatever you feel is important so that people will understand that these things are important. It's okay to fumble because not everybody is perfect and you need not be perfect. You're talking so you can be as natural as possible, and if we are natural, we are tend to fumble. So it's okay. Do not overreact. Do not make it a scene that, oh my God, I fumbled. Don't do that. Be natural. Keep moving. Let that topic close and keep moving to the next one, next point. Then idea of space and time. You should have an idea where you're talking and at what time you are talking, because people usually feel sleepy after the lunch time, right? So always have an idea to how many people you're addressing to, at what time and at what place. Is it a closed classroom or is it a big hall, a big stage? What is it? So accordingly adjust your content and your way of talking. You have to be louder when you're addressing a huge audience, and you have to be soft if you're addressing a single person. Then duration of speech is important. Why? Because no one ever complains about a speech being too short. If the speech is of 5 minutes, people become happy. If you're done, they are like, it's okay. But if it's very long, people lose interest. So try to make it as short as possible, but at the same time as influential. Next. Be polite and friendly and don't use inappropriate language. That is one of the basic things that we need to be very mindful about, which is a language. It should never be inappropriate and it should be friendly. It should be natural. People should be able to connect to you. Do not be too harsh. Do not be too strict. Rather, be very natural and have a humble and polite tone. Tell stories. You are supposed to tell stories to people you talk to. No matter how good you speak on any topic, any points are there, people will always remember stories. They won't remember that you've spoken about this or that. They will remember what you said via stories. So ask for validation of points. When you're talking to somebody, clear the same thing that you've just said. Ask them, did you hear what I just said? Or am I right? Do you agree to this point? Or has this ever happened to you? Say this so that people will also start talking. They will tell you, yes, this has happened to me. And they may tell you another story of whatever has happened with them. So that way you will be able to connect with that person, and that person will feel important. That person will feel heard. So start strong. Start with something very strong. Start with a story. Start with some good quotation. Start with something that you know about that subject, and end stronger. End stronger means to conclude properly. You should always have something to give to whoever you are talking to. So these are the self-assessment questions that you should be able to answer, which is, are you focused on doing whatever you can to improve your communication? Are you doing anything to improve your communication? Ask yourself. And is oral communication more effective, or is it written communication which is more effective? I feel that oral communication is more effective because you are not supposed to write and tell people whatever you feel. Oral will always be much more helpful. So, salient features of speaking, which is the important features of speaking. Perfect clarity of language. Whatever language you are speaking, there should be a perfect clarity. There should be perfect clarity of thoughts and also of pronunciation, and it should be very well structured. So thoughts and ideas should be clear. If your audience does not instantly grasp your point, you have failed as a speaker. If today you will not understand what I am talking, then I have failed as a speaker, isn't it? So whoever is talking to you, they should be able to influence you. Their speech, their talk should be effective, and you should be able to understand, why is this person talking to me today? and what are they trying to make you understand. Next, comprising of anecdotes, wit, humor makes it interesting and wins audiences' attention. So anecdotes are basically short stories which are related to our day-to-day life, and they are humorous. So humor and wit will always wins the audience's attention. If you will just come up and talk about facts, you will give data, you will give all those numbers and figures, I don't think anybody will be able to connect to you. But if you will have short anecdotes, which are short stories, and you will have wit and humor in all those conversations, people will always laugh, and laugh makes you connect with people. So, creating a bond between speaker and listener. So that way, automatically a bond will be created between speaker and listener, and you would want to keep hearing the speaker speaking. That way, it will indicate that you are a good speaker. Next, authentic and error-free. So whatever you are talking should be error-free. Does not mean you can't make mistakes. You can. We are all human beings. We are tend to make mistakes. But don't do it deliberately. Do not try to let anybody question your authenticity. False statements mislead the audience and hamper the acceptability of speech. If you will get to know that this person has given any false statements, you will instantly lose all your attention and all your interest, and you will stop listening to that person. And you will also go around talking bad about that person. So your image will also go bad, and nobody will ever listen to you. They will always feel that you tell lies. So never let anybody question your credibility. So benefits of speaking skills. So these are the benefits which are there. Speaking skills helps you be good at interviews. It will help you being good at debates. It will help you in your good group discussions, public speaking. You will be able to develop your career. You will increase your confidence level, and you will have better job opportunities. And you will also be able to give presentations in a good way. So all these things will always be beneficial to you, and only because you're a good speaker. So learn speaking by listening. You learn pronunciation, the context, observe and adapt. So first thing is, always listen to whoever is talking to you. Listen properly. And not just the person you're talking to become a good speaker, go and listen to all those videos that you love watching. Go and listen to a cricket commentary that you love listening to. That way, those cricket commentary will help you know many more words. You will understand where those words are supposed to be used and in what context, in which pronunciations they are supposed to be said. Go and watch those Netflix movies. I do that. Always switch on your subtitles and keep watching movies as much as you want, because that way you will subconsciously gather all those words which are written, and you will understand where they are used and subconsciously just start practicing and using those words. So adapt those words. Then active listening involves fully concentrating on the speaker, understanding their message and responding thoughtfully. You're always supposed to understand their message. Do not just talk whatever you wanted to speak. Do not finish with all of that. Always listen first and understand what the speaker wants from you. Listen and then answer back accordingly. So increase vocabulary by repeat and juggle method. What do you understand by juggle method? I'm sure you must have seen in a circus a person juggling balls. So what is juggling? It is changing of one ball to another. So the same way, you can also use this method to increase your vocabulary. Go home, look for a dictionary and see the words and start using those words. Look for the synonyms of those words and then repeat those words whenever you are speaking and juggle those words. So this way you will be able to be a good speaker. So, we will continue every other point left in the next segment of our class. For today, I hope you have enjoyed my class and happy learning to you all. Thank you everyone.